Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the development and underdevelopment and at the same time the perpetuation of underdevelopment in the less developed economies. That means why there is a consistent underdevelopment in the less developed economies provided there is a lot of programs to eliminate the underdevelopment to be developed. So in this class we are going to discuss all these things. This lecture is contributed by myself, Dr. Shritikana Ghosh, along with Dr. Joya Mukherjee, Dr. Shishendu Mukherjee, Dr. Moniporna Shamroy, and Dr. Shubroto Mujumdar. So, let me first explain what we will discuss in this class. The very first one is the meaning of economic development. Actually, in daily life, there is a misconception about the economic development. Someone is saying this is economic development, someone is saying no, this is economic development. So, here we will explain what is economic development. The second one is that from economics point of view, economic development is explained in two ways. The first one is through the traditional view, and the second one is the new economic view. So that also will be discussed in this class. The third one is the features of the underdevelopment. Underdevelopment is just opposite of the development. So what are the features of any of the underdeveloped economy? The fourth point is the perpetuation of underdevelopment. That means in a less developed economy, why there is a long existence of underdevelopment. Whereas there are a lot of programs which are taken by those countries to be developed, to be developing, but still they are underdeveloped. Why it is so? And the last point is the underdeveloped trap. Actually, most of the less developed countries are under this trap. As they are in this trap, they cannot be a developing one. So I will explain what is this trap. So the first point is what is development? Before 1960s, economic development is explained in terms of a continuous increase in per capita income. Now, what is per capita income? It is the total income of the nation divided by total population of the nation. So, if there is a continuous increase in per capita income, that economy is considered as a developed one. But after some times, the economists were saying that no, this is not sufficient. There, you must include some qualitative variables of the economy along with this per capita income. So, what are those qualitative variables? These are actually the socio-economic variables. For example, the unemployment, the illiteracy, malnutrition, problem of sanitizations, and all this. So, based on this new definition, there are so many economists who are trying to explain economic development from the new perspective. So among them, there are two importance. The first, for example, there is a Todaro. The Todaro was saying that along with the increase in the per capita income, there should be a reduction in unemployment, there should be a reduction in poverty, and there should be a reduction in income or wealth inequality. There is Elkin, who is another economist, who said the people should have a command over the commodities which they need to survive in the economy. So this is how different economists were explaining economic development from their own point of view. Now, if you go to the general way, so there is initially there was traditional view. So according to the traditional view, when you consider one economy as a developed one. The first feature of economic development is the continuous growth of GNP, and that growth should be within the range of 5 to 7%. The second feature of the developed economy is the fall of the share of agriculture to the GNP. Now, mostly in GNP, there are three sectors which are contributing. The first one is the primary sector. Agriculture is inside the primary sector. The second one is the manufacturing sector, and the third one is the traditional sector. So, when the share of agriculture to the GNP is falling, you can understand the share of manufacturing, the share of service, these sectors, the shares of those sectors are increasing for GNP. So this is another indicator of economic development. The third one is the industrialization should be encouraged. The large industries should be established, the small scale industries should be encouraged. These are another feature of the economic development. And finally, there should be an increase in employment situation, the education level should be improved, the public health sector should work better than before. So, according to traditional views, these are the features of the economic development. But what there is a problem of this traditional view. What is the problem? An economy may have all those features, but still there is a section of the people who are not getting any benefit of this development. They are poor and they may be poorer than before. So you can understand there is an inequality of the benefit of economic development. So that is the problem of traditional view. Based on this problem, or rather the limitation, there is a new view of economic development. And the pioneer of this new view is the Amartya Sen. According to the A.K. Sen, economic development cannot be explained in terms of per capita income, cannot be explained in terms of the development of the socio-economic factors. Rather, economic development can be explained in terms of the capability of the people, the capability of the people to have to control over the commodities which they need to survive in the economy. So this is the view of the equation. There is another economist, Golet. Golet is saying there should be a continuous supply of the essential commodities for the human being. And at the same time, people should have self-respect when they are staying in the nation, and there should be a reduction in employment, unemployment. This should be there. Improvement in the literacy, poverty should be reduced. So these are there. Along with that, these two are the additional conditions given by Golet. Now, after discussing a lot of things from different perspectives about the economic development, what are the main features of the economic development? The very first one is there should be an increase in per capita income. The second one, there should be an increase in per capita expenditure. When there is an increase in per capita expenditure, one can understand that okay, there is an improvement in the standard of living. The third one, the average life expectancy should be better than before, which is a health indicator or the health infrastructure indicator. The fourth one is the development of the economic infrastructure. The next one is the poverty and unemployment reduction. Then comes the malnutrition. You can understand if there is a long existence of malnutrition, people cannot be cannot be productive as much as they can. So malnutrition should be reduced, and the infant, that means the children, they are most vulnerable. So infant mortality rate should be reduced, illiteracy rate should be reduced, and finally, whatever revenue or whatever benefit is earned through this development process, that should be distributed equally among the people of the nation. So in a nutshell, we can say these are the main features of the economic development. Now I am going to the other side of the development, that is the underdevelopment. So what are the features of underdevelopment? First of all, the contribution of the primary sector should be the most prominent one. The people, the most of the labor force, they are engaged in the primary sector. Maximum income is coming from the primary sector. So primary sector is playing a dominant role. Per capita income is very low there. Poverty level is very high. Unemployment is significant. Income inequality is severe. So these are the features. Physical capital, as the per capita income is very low, the saving is also very low. So there is less money in the economy for investment. So physical capital is really scarce. The next one is the low human capital. People don't have money to survive. So in that case, you cannot expect a person to spend a lot of money for the literacy, for the education, for the enhancement of the technical skill. They cannot do that. So the result is low human capital. The next one is the high population growth. What is the reason behind high population growth? It may be the unawareness of the people, it may be the illiteracy, it may be the migration. Whatever be the reason, the population growth is very high there. Labor productivity is very low as people don't have money, so they are malnourished. At the same time, they don't have any special skill, technical skill. So productivity of the people in general is very low. The backward technology, people have to use backward technology because they don't have money. The investors don't have money to purchase sophisticated technology. So the laborers have to use the backward technology. So you can understand this is another trap actually. Their productivity is automatically become lower. And what is the final result? Poor standard of living. Now I am going to the last part. Then why there is a long existence of underdevelopment in the less developed economy. Actually, there is a trap which I called it as a underdevelopment trap. So where is the trap? Look at this flow chart. Look at this point first. In any of the less developed country, these are the common problems. The population growth is very high. Primary sector is the dominating sector in case of employment, in case of income, revenue generation. And as the people are producing primary products, the price elasticity of demand of those products is also very low. So they cannot earn a lot of money, they cannot earn a lot of revenue from this sector. So what is the end result? The end result is the low per capita income. And once your income is very low, your saving is very low naturally. And when your savings is low, the investment is low. And once investment is low, the physical capital formation is low. And once you don't have the infrastructure, once you don't have the machine, once you don't have the factory, then you cannot employ the labor force. So unemployment is very high. And as there is unemployment, income or the wealth inequality is also very high there. So what is the result? The result is the your income is low. So the human capital is also very as there is a lack of human capital, per capita income is low. So look at this trap. So it's a cycle, right? It's a cycle. Once you are inside this trap, it's very difficult for a country to leave this trap. The country is called the less developed country. He need a push so that he can leave this trap and becoming a developing one so that in the long run he will be a developed country. So this is all for this class. Thank you. I will discuss the next topic in the next class.